What's up, nerds? Welcome to NGR Radio, episode 30. I am one of your hosts, Corey Deering, and alongside me, as always, that man who wears his sunglasses at night.
Not Corey Hart.
Matthew Keel.
Yes, that's me. Because fuck Corey Hart. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Dude, I am so good right now. I'm so just...
How good are you?
I'm a little bit tired, but...
Me too.
My excitement and how good this past week has been has just kind of over-throttled that tiredness. Yeah. And sometimes I can't think of the words I want to say.
Forget being tired.
But that's okay, because I'm still excited.
Yeah.
Because you know who else is here?
Yes.
El Capitan himself, Ray Osorio.
I can't believe you guys let me come back again. But hey, guys, rise above.
Well, we exiled you long enough, and you know everything is all clear now. and finally, my Hammer brother,
partner in crime.
Yeah,
that's right, buddy.
Hammer brother, Moose. A bespectacled moose.
That's right. A southern moose, as some people like to say.
Yeah, the southern moose, not the Canadian moose. He's a different species.
No.
We call him So-Mood for short.
No,
no, we don't do that.
No, we don't do that. Don't do
that. No one's ever done that until I
don't do that
immediately.
Don't listen to him.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Yeah, I mean, if I regret it, you know, I know I did wrong. So,
you know what? I told myself I wasn't going to regret having you as a co-host, Matt. But every week, you try.
I push you.
You try. You try.
Moose is one of the second wave Diablos. That's how Moose and I go back. Second wave Diablos. Because I got my OGs.
Have you tried the new Diablo 1 and Diablo 3 yet, right?
Yes. I did that with cool. I did that with Fallen. Fallen and I sat there, we burned through it in like 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's not that long. It's not that long.
Murdered everything. Yeah. It was fun though.
I agree.
Now if you do the Diablo 1, does it
you get a legendary gem.
But you could just go in with your character that you have now. So like Moose and I, we both have thousands of Paragon points each.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's like one of the bounties, Matt. So like you just go to Old Tristram and the graphics change to like the old school graphics, and then you're just looking. Well, you look for the portal. Once you take the portal, then it transfers to the old graphics, and then you just run around and do the actual level. So
yeah, you know, Decker Kane is alive again, and he's telling us to stay a while and listen.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not that hard to find, which is good. They didn't make it not impossible. They didn't make it like finding the cube for the legendary.
Oh, freaking Ice Cube was terrible.
Yeah.
All the Diablo talk, Corey's like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about right now.
Corey needs to play some Diablo.
I mean, imagine it was like Destiny, but really, really cool.
No, I already talked about Destiny today once, and I am so burned out on even saying the word Destiny that it's just, oh man.
It is your destiny.
It is your destiny. God damn it, Moose, you beat me to it.
So I was talking to all of our good friend Edward Varnell, the Nintendo Chaos Machine.
Nintendo Kool-Aid drinker.
Oh man,
the Nintendo Kool-Aid keg stander.
And I'm gonna do optional opinion with him. Well, by the time you guys hear this, it'll already be out. But we're gonna do a Destiny episode, and I'm like,
nice.
Why was I not invited to that?
And we were just like, oh my gosh. And I made it a point to say, look, I deleted Destiny off my PlayStation, and I said, look, I'm not playing Destiny unless they absolutely have some sort of confirmation that your character can, like, that you're taking your character with you and your gear or your weapons or your light level or anything. I'm kind of just burnt out so hard on that game. And like, I'm so the nice thing is, I've been playing a lot of Nintendo games lately, and it's been very nice. It's been very fun and very not stressful.
Isn't Destiny 2 scheduled for this year?
Well, there's a big
announcement for this year, but not.
That's what I mean.
The big rumor is that it's not coming till Q1 of 18 now. So
that wouldn't surprise me.
So, which is fine if you're building each planet out to be like a Borderlands style open world with like cities and hubs and missions on each planet.
Bungie and Activision we're talking about here.
I know.
My hopes aren't high.
I don't know. I'm just like, I don't know if I have time in my life for Destiny anymore. Overwatch is so much better.
We still need to play Overwatch there, Mr.
I finally started playing Overwatch. That game's fun.
Oh, man. I love playing with Matt and Moose. Oh, man. It's so fun. It takes
Overwatch is awesome.
And I've been working my way back through Twilight Princess HD to level up my Wolf Link amiibo. And
Overwatch is pretty good.
Overwatch is pretty good. I enjoy Overwatch. Man, what have you guys been playing? Anything fun? Anything good?
Overwatch, Call of Duty, surprisingly for me. Been playing.
I have a new one. Is it any good? Infinite Warfare? Is it any good?
It's all right. It's not anything like to write home about. The campaign is actually really good.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm not going to play multiplayer. I can't handle. Listen, I work in a restaurant and I already listen to 15-year-olds yell at me all day. I don't need to go online.
You don't need the 12-year-olds telling you what they can do.
Bring me a better cheeseburger. I'm gonna sodomize your mother, Derek.
Yeah, pretty much. But I don't think they know words that big.
I mean, I was handing out some credit, but I also didn't want to get like too vulgar.
He didn't want to get like Eddie Murphy in here.
Yeah.
Or Richard Pryor. He didn't want to go that. He didn't want to go there.
I didn't. Yeah. No. Well, mainly, I don't want to go to Eddie Murphy or Richard Pryor out of respect.
Yes. Very much so. But I was playing some Mario Kart and Smash Brothers with the girls. That was fun.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mario Kart 8, man. It's going to be awesome. Again.
For the first time.
Oh, and shout out to my friends Mike Rienzi from The Nation and Taryn Beach. We've been playing Wednesday nights. We've been playing Street Fighter V. And I've been getting my face pummeled in very badly because I don't play enough to practice. So
because it's Street Fighter V and the only people left playing are like the super hardcore, the hardcore.
Well, it's actually a lot better. It's like a million times better than what it was when it launched. So,
well, yeah, like I think it's easier to find local matches now, or at least locally.
Well, season 2 just started too, so
yes.
Yeah. See, I was thinking about getting Street Fighter V because it was like $15 the other day, but I didn't.
You should have. You could have gotten your dojo.
I mean, if you're not going to play it, don't play it. I mean,
don't buy it if you're not going to play it.
Yeah, that's true. Don't buy it if you're not going to play it.
Yeah,
don't be like El Capitan and buy games.
Yeah, don't pull a Ray.
Well, I'm so into like Injustice that I feel like if I played another fighting game, I would be totally thrown off.
You feel like you were cheating.
And plus, that's coming in 6 months. So you might as well just...
Yeah. So like, I don't want to risk trying another fighting game to mess me up in that fighting game. Not that I'm like any good or going to go compete or anything, but
yeah, it's
just that thing that's in my head that if I play another fighting game, I'm going to not enjoy the other fighting games. I don't know. It's weird. But yeah. Yeah. Matt, what have you been playing besides Overwatch?
I actually started up Titanfall 2.
Yeah? Are you enjoying it?
That game's fun. And I haven't done a lot. I did a lot of multiplayer with Moose and Captain Canada and angry French Canadian Dominic Roberge.
Uncle J-Bay.
Uncle J-Bay who made Lee feel really bad about himself.
Yes. That was bad.
Even via apology, I think.
Yeah, that apology was kind of rough. So,
but he did not level that at me, so I think I'm better at Titanfall than Lee. Yeah, Lee, I'll challenge you.
Ooh, throw down the gauntlet.
Challenge. And then as always, a little bit of Bloodborne, a little bit of Binding of Isaac.
Okay, so I have a question about Binding of Isaac.
Okay.
I haven't played that game.
Probably better off.
Really?
I mean, I'm just saying because like it's one of those things that if it doesn't grab you, it might never do it.
I tried it, so
what? What I mean, like, can you just like kind of explain that game to me, because it's always looked interesting, but I've always been confused at what kind of game it was.
It's a twin stick shooter, actually.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You move around with the left stick and then you fire with the right stick, but you only use 4 directions. It has a OG Zelda perspective, and it's a very gross but compelling experience. There's a lot of biblical references, and it basically, I mean, I'll tell you the story just because that's the opening cutscene. You play as Isaac, who is a kid.
Naturally,
he's a little scamp, but he has been deemed by God to be corrupted and unsavable. And in the opening cutscene, God demands that Isaac's mother kill him. So the motivation is you are trying to survive. You escape into the basement of your house, and you have to survive. And it's basically a 5-level roguelike, or like a 5 or 6 level roguelike. But there are hundreds of items. It's all randomized. There are hundreds. There are a bunch of challenges that happen. You'll get notifications that random things have appeared, and I've still not really gotten to the bottom of what it all means. It's just a really, really fun experience. There are some runs where I will get to where I have to fight Isaac's mother, and then there are some where I will die 3 levels in, and I just keep saying I'm going to start this over and try again. But it's a fun game. I think it's a really fun game. It's done by Ed McMillan, who's most well known for Super Meat Boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I think it's a really cool game, but I will be completely upfront that it is not for everybody.
okay.
And I think Moose, you've probably tried it, and you can probably agree with me on that one.
Yeah, I've played it. I enjoyed it. It's a good twin stick shooter, but I agree with you. It's not for everybody.
Yeah,
It's definitely not.
I mean, people think the Souls games are obtuse. That game is really obtuse as well.
Yeah, it was like I think it was free with PlayStation Plus the month I bought my PlayStation 4. So I was like, awesome. I don't have to buy it. So.
Yep. Yep.
So I might already have it, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was 2014, December 2014. It was free. So
Yeah, it was
Okay.
something like that, like way back when.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I've always wanted to try it, and like, I mean, if I already have it, I might as well just try it on PlayStation. But like, it's always looked interesting, and it's going to be a Switch launch title, and I didn't know if like it was worth picking up or playing. But I guess if I already have it, I don't need to buy it for Switch.
Yeah.
It's really weird to be a Switch launch title. It's weird to me to hear that, but
Yeah.
whatever. So
Okay, well,
Moose, what have you been playing?
I've been running the gauntlet on Skyrim and finally platinumed it Saturday night. Then I played. Yeah, finally. It's been holding me back. Like, I sit there, me, Captain Canada, and Infinite are in like a little trophy war competitive thing, and it pains me to see Captain Canada hitting like trophies, like 3 or 4 trophies a day, and I'm doing like maybe 1 a day. And so once I beat it, I was happy because I was like, I got the platinum. I'm gonna go back and 100% it later on, but I platinumed that. I played Tales from the Borderlands. Been doing a lot of Titanfall, some Overwatch, and I think I'm just gonna chill and hang out until February starts, because I put a poll up in one of the groups to help the group pick my 4 for February. So I'm hoping in the Fathers of the Grind. So hopefully I'll just save. I'll probably play Bloodborne until that time.
Binding of Isaac. Do Binding of Isaac. It'd be fun.
Plus Neo comes out in 2 weeks, in a couple hours, 6 hours or whatever. So I'll be focusing on that when it comes out. So I think I'm just going to ride some low-key games until that point.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Bloodborne, real low-key game.
Right?
Well, if you've played it, it's low key.
I know.
I mean,
know what you're doing.
My guy's on his. I have him on his second playthrough, and I'm about to start New Game Plus, and I keep him on New Game Plus so I can just hop in and help Captain Canada with his game, because he's like, buy Sniper Elite 3, and I'll play Bloodborne with you guys. I did that, and he has yet to play Bloodborne with us. Yeah, I'm calling out Captain Canada.
Yeah, those shifty Canadians, man.
So he just gets so frustrated. I'm like, dude, all you need to do is get some insight, and then me and Infinite will be in there, and we'll just freaking destroy the game. So I don't know, but anyways, I think I'm just gonna start New Game Plus and just have fun with it.
Here's a carrot for you to go after, Moose. Ahmed beat New Game Plus in 3 hours.
That's ridiculous.
What?
3 hours.
Ridiculous.
3 hours?
3 hours.
I have to go back and start over on Bloodborne because my save got corrupted.
I think you're better off for it. Right.
That really hurt me to my soul, though, because that really crushed me.
Now I feel like I need to. Dang it! Now I need to go back.
On a side note, speaking of soulish games, did you guys see the DLC trailer for the Dark Souls 3 DLC?
So good.
Yeah, it does look good.
I was thinking about
I need to start that game too.
Bloodborne and just starting Dark Souls.
You could do that.
Yeah,
that's
you could
where
always
I
go
was
back
just
to Bloodborne.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
I think I like Bloodborne better than Dark Souls.
That's fair.
I
can. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, I feel like it's easier to wrap my mind around, and I like the faster, more aggressive approach than Dark Souls, which I know they changed a little bit up in Dark Souls 3, but I still like the feel of Bloodborne better. I feel like.
Well,
I agree with you 110%. Go ahead, man.
I think there are 1 or 2 less systems to actually keep track of in Bloodborne, and those systems are like the equipment load and I guess mana to a degree, but eliminating those 2 things really streamlines it so you can just focus on playing.
Well, plus they don't have blocking, so you have to be aggressive, and then they added
that's true.
They added the rally system where, like, if you take damage and you hit while you inside a certain window, you get your health back. So it makes you be a lot more aggressive. And I feel like I've played a little bit of Dark Souls 2, and I've played some of Dark Souls 3, and I agree Dark Souls 3 is faster than Dark Souls 2, and then Bloodborne's even faster than both of them. Mm-hmm. Like, I try and play Dark Souls 2s, and I'm like, I just want to go back to Bloodborne. So I'm like stuck in the same situation like when I tried to play Oblivion after I played Skyrim. I'm like, this is so slow, I can't play this, and I just go back to Skyrim. So, but I'm hoping to play both of them this year. So, but anyways.
Yeah. So, well, what do you say we get into our first topic?
Yeah.
Who's got a topic they want to throw out there?
We don't have a cherry popper, so someone has to just volunteer to go first.
And I kind of had 2 topics last week. So
I have a topic that something that we actually recently discussed on Nerd Overdrive. Then I kind of wanted to get your guys' takes on it, since you guys come from a little bit different, diverse backgrounds. The subscription models that we know today versus free to play versus like the DLC and season pass models are they the good, the bad, the ugly? Like, how do you guys see them? Like, for example, the subscription model I would be most looking at, for example, would be WoW as one primary subscription model versus your season pass things, which would be like your Call of Duties, your Battlefields, and then the free-to-play stuff that we see that, Sony and Microsoft have tried, like Killer Instinct would be a good, free-to-play kind of thing, and mobile games and stuff like that. So, I mean, where do you guys kind of gauge that? Do you think they're good, they're bad? You know, if executed well, each of them has their pros, their cons, that kind of thing?
I mean, I kind of feel like it depends on what you're getting with the subscription. Like I know like MMOs are a little bit different because like, you know, they keep the servers running and, you know, they allow the developers to incorporate little updates here and there. But I know also a lot of them have moved away from subscription models and have, you know, moved to the quote mobile strategy where they're doing a lot of microtransactions and cosmetic transactions.
The freemium kind of route where that you can pay to play, you know, you can pay to play to get extra content, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's what Neverwinter does.
So like, I mean, there's probably pros and cons to each one, but like, I don't do much of either. And like the only quote MMO that I probably play a lot would be Destiny.
Well, how do you feel Destiny's approach, since that's what you're familiar with?
You done did this to yourself, Corey.
How do you feel Destiny's approach was handling DLC with the different updates and, you know, that kind of model that they incorporated? I mean,
initially I thought like the expansions were, you didn't get enough for what you paid for, like the Dark Below and House of Wolves. I felt like it wasn't worth the money that you were spending to get them. But after the Taken King came out, I thought that $40 expansion for the Taken King was totally worth it. And the little updates you got throughout the year were like fun little events for people who didn't play as much as I did. I felt like, you know, there are ways to get people who aren't fully leveled back into it after a stale period. You know, Sparrow Racing was a cool little thing that switched things up. Iron Banner is a cool thing that they bring back every month. I'm trying to think of what else they did. The Dawning that they just did was cool. And like all those little updates, even though people were complaining that they're stupid or whatever, they're free updates. They're paid for by, you know, you're buying a dance for $2 or an emote or some sort of Sparrow. You know, you're buying those little boxes that give you material or the different, like they added leveling up. Like you can buy the levelers that will allow you to upgrade your character faster. It's just, you know, there's all these different ways to nitpick a game. And then there's, well, if you paid more, do you get more? If it's a free update, do you get less? Like it's those things. And I kind of almost prefer I'm going to buy this expansion in terms of Destiny. I would prefer to buy a new expansion for $20 each quarter or something and get a new raid or, you know, I wouldn't pay for multiplayer maps, but I would pay for a new raid or, you know, a raid in a story, like a couple story missions to advance the story forward or something like that, you know. I guess it all depends on what you're into and what you are looking for in a game, first of all, and then you kind of build your expectations from there.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree.
I think, like, in Destiny's case, I think they need to go more the route that Square Enix does with Final Fantasy 14, where, like, they have the huge releases and then they do, like, mini patches where you could be like, I'll buy the huge release and then pay, like, $20 for these mini things. Like, I don't think Bungie has quite figured out the cost for good DLC yet. Like you said, like that's the reason I never got into Destiny. I was gonna wait till I got my PS4 when it came out, and then I saw the reviews were horrible, and then what people were getting for what they were paying for the season passes, and I was just like, it's not worth it to me. Like I don't even want that. And so now I was so far removed from the game when Taken King came out. I was just like, nope. I'm like, I don't even want to look at it. So.
Yeah, I think if you were to go in with the whole collection now as it stands with everything, you know, that they released up to now, it would probably be something you would enjoy, and you're paying like $60 for everything up to date.
I think now
you're probably
on
right,
Amazon.
right.
It's like 30.
Yeah. I mean, but that's because so many people bought it and they were burned out. And, I think Destiny kind of suffered from wanting their cake and eat it too kind of thing, because they wanted to release the expansions. They released the expansions, but then they added the microtransaction things as a half measure. And then they kind of burned themselves and shot themselves in the foot. And to where the more dedicated fan base, by then there were other games that were interesting people. And then the diehards like Corey would go and play and then leave and then play something else and then come back and then leave again and come back. But after a while, the diehards, I was a diehard once, and then I finally said enough was enough. I'm not coming back. And then now that's where Corey is too. Corey's like, nope, no more. And I'm proud of you, Corey, for that, by the way. You finally kicked your destiny problem.
It plus like the thing with like Destiny was like I was so obsessed with keeping up with my friends and who I was playing with that I missed so many games that came out in the fall. And like the example I used was when the Taken King came out, there were so many games that came out between that and between the Taken King's release and November. And the first game that I put Destiny down for was Halo 5. And that was, I missed all the September releases. I missed all the October releases. I missed all the November releases. And the first two games I played after that, I played Halo 5's campaign, which was fine. And then I played Rise of the Tomb Raider afterwards. And that's the only reason why I did that is because we had already done everything in Destiny and I had max level characters. And there was really no reason to go back. And it sucks because then you get into a game like that and you're like, I understand they want you to stay in their game, but then you're missing out on all these other experiences. And I can't tell you that how relieved I was after, I put Destiny down and I got to enjoy Rise of the Tomb Raider, which ended up being my favorite game of that whole year. And then after Rise of the Tomb Raider, I played through both Fire Emblem releases. And like, nice. It was so liberating. You
didn't put those down, right? You basically played those pretty much like burned through them right through, right?
I didn't even turn anything on unless like we were absolutely doing something on Wednesday nights that I needed to take care of, like because I record our other show on Wednesday nights with Brian and Joey. And unless like what were we playing at the time? I don't even remember what we were playing at the time. I think we were all playing something different. And I ended up taking my 3DS. Oh, Joey had back surgery, and me and Brian were playing Madden online against people. and he would play offense, and I would play defense. And we both had our 3DSs open playing Fire Emblem while the other person was playing their part of the game.
That's a smart move.
It was so much fun, dude. Oh my gosh, dude! Nobody can stop. Dude, we went that night. I think we went like 7-2 online as the Browns.
Nice.
As the Browns.
Wow. Imagine how great it could have been.
I know, right?
Yeah. It was awesome. Picked a competent team that didn't suck.
I know. Nobody can stop me.
Can't stop. Won't stop.
Nobody can stop me.
So something I want to bring up to Matt and Moose, since they're a little bit more well-versed, with like the Bloodborne DLC. I've heard good things about the Bloodborne DLC being like top-notch DLC, comparable to full season pass.
I'd pay $60 for it.
I'd pay $60 for that DLC alone.
Mm-hmm.
A DLC is amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's really good. So
now, what do you guys think about stuff that gives you season passes that is kind of like the kind of the shush, the quiet hush hush? Hey, we're not going to give you everything, but we're just going to say it's map packs, it's this, it's that, it's the other. We're not going to give you an idea or a time frame. I personally myself,
I don't like that.
I don't like that either, because what game was that did that, and then it totally burned a lot of people. I know something that
Fallout 4.
Fallout 4 did do that to a point, but something that burned me, Matt, that actually got us playing together was Evolve. When with that DLC thing, that whole thing was a big just cluster.
That was a big misnomer though, because it seemed like a lot of people were freaking out about stuff that wasn't necessary. I mean, the whole thing that you could level that, Turtle Rock, or what is it, Turtle Rock or Turtle Beach?
Turtle Rock.
That
Turtle Beach.
The stuff that they were trying to sell was unnecessarily
like monster skins.
Like, that's all it was. It was just skins, and if you looked at them compared to what was actually in the game, there's no way I would have paid for that thinking it was better than what was already in the game. I think their DLC that they got right was eventually down the line they added a couple new monsters as well as a couple new hunters, or maybe they added one new monster and a bunch of new hunters. That was fine, but by the time that stuff came out, I was done. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. But getting back to season passes, there was a time before, and I'm pretty sure, I mean, someone will correct me, but I'm pretty sure Fallout 4 was the game that said, well, here's a season pass. We don't know what it is yet, but it's us. We're gonna be awesome. But there were plenty of times before an event like that where season passes got it right. Borderlands 2 is actually one of the better season passes.
One of the best season passes ever, I would have to say.
They had a crap ton of single player content. I mean, granted, it was all multiplayer, but it was co-op. But still,
there's no competitive with Borderlands.
They had plenty of content, and most of it was good to great. I mean, the Tiny Tina adventure is kind of a bit of a masterpiece in the DLC space. But I still like the Mr. Torg campaign just because you get the world's greatest Macho Man Randy Savage knockoff. And some of the funniest.
There's too many syllables in that sentence.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the best. I can speak in innuendos too. Blowjobs. I mean, it's just beautiful. And you get the interplay between he and Mad Moxie. Oh, it's a good time. It's a real good time. And then Borderlands released characters for free that weren't part of the season pass. You got 2 extra characters in that game for free. So there are ways to do it correctly and ways to do it incorrectly. I mean, I'm trying to think of, I don't like the subscription based service because I feel like I'll be burdened to play it for way too long.
That's where I was with WoW. I enjoy playing it, but finances and stuff like that hit me kind of hard, so I couldn't keep paying for the subscription at the time. For now, I will eventually, when things get a little bit better, hopefully for me, I want to go back to it. But would you throw the episodic model into this as well? The episodic model is another one of the. So you get like The Walking Dead, the season, the parts for that, the Life is Strange, the Tales from the Borderlands, the Game of Thrones, those kind of things that Telltale does. Those would also be because those are also considered DLC in their own right too. So I would throw that in here.
With those, I don't even buy them when the first episode releases. I just wait till they all come out and then they go on sale.
I haven't done that.
They go on sale for 50 to 60%, and it's like there's no Batman. There was no reason for me to buy Batman, and it was on sale for 45% off right around the time episode 5 was coming out. I'm like, great, I can just download everything, start it, and just run right through the entire
That's where I am with it.
Story.
Model too, because I did that with Walking Dead season 1 and season 2. I bought Walking Dead season 2 right when it came out. The first episode came out, but then I found myself not wanting to play between episode to episode because it would be 2, 3 months, 4 months, between episodes. Sometimes depending on timing, because Telltale, for example, has so many properties on their plate now. They had Wolf Among Us. Then they have Batman and all this other stuff too. I found myself going back and playing them once all the episodes were already out, and so that way I could play them pretty continuously, so that way I wasn't waiting on episode to episode.
See, this is my thing. I would be more inclined to buy them as the episodes came out if they had a schedule. If they said, okay, starting in June, we're going to release the Wolf Among Us 2 every other month, then you know when it's coming out, so that you could buy it and then wait a month, play it, and then like the next week, like the next one's coming out or something like that. They're too sporadic for me.
Yeah, rather than all of a sudden the week before it's set to come out, they're like, oh, by the way, Wolf Among Us episode 2 is coming out. That's how they
exactly.
That's how they did with Batman.
Oh, guys, by the way, it's all you find out on the PlayStation drop, and you're just like, okay, so that's great to know that season. I mean, and side note, where's the talk about Walking Dead season 3? Like, nobody's talking about it. I don't see anybody talking about it in the video game groups I'm in. I don't see anybody talking about it on Twitter. Like, nobody says anything about that game. Yeah, there was the flash in the pan. Nobody says anything about that game.
Not anymore, no.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's almost like a little bit of season fatigue. I think it may be season fatigue.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I mean, well, I think, in terms of the episodic model, I think Hitman last year got it right. Because
Hitman got the most crap out of all of them for it.
Well, that's because it was
that original model pricing model was really bad too.
Well, yeah, but didn't they revamp that prior to release?
Yeah,
what you got every time out, and this is the carrot that would keep someone going episode for episode, was they started throwing other things into the game before the next episode came out. Like, there were elusive targets that you cannot do anymore. And then the escalation missions, when they started coming out, those were cool ideas. And while I've not played the game, I think that all of that was relatively worthwhile, because it wasn't just, hey, we're just going to give you a new costume you can put on, or we're going to give you a new weapon in this corner of the map. It's an actual quest in a way, rather than and it was something that would exist for only a weekend. And I think over the holidays they actually did the Wet Bandits from Home Alone.
Yeah, they did.
And I mean, I kind of feel bad that I missed that, because I would have liked to kill me some Wet Bandits. By throwing a fire extinguisher at them, or
I don't think the Wet Bandits were an elusive target, though. I think that's just part of the Christmas update.
I think that's still ongoing.
Yeah, it's ongoing. Like, you can just pick the holiday part of the game.
Matt's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go get the game and I'm gonna murder some Wet Bandits.
I'm out.
I actually downloaded that first episode. And like, when I played, I really liked it. I just haven't had a chance to go back to it because of all the stuff that we're doing for the Nintendo stuff that we're doing leading up to Switch's launch. But like, it was really fun. And I played Absolution and I didn't really care for it, but I did play Blood Money, and it feels a lot more like Blood Money than it did Absolution. And these open worlds, like, the cities themselves aren't very big, but it's something I wish more open world games would do, and that's make these levels full of stuff to do, full of places to go. And like these levels are so dense with content that it's like, man, I don't know why anybody else doesn't do this, because it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, one thing I thoroughly enjoy is when you actually have open world-ish, even if it's not true open world, but when it's open world-ish and there's, a very well populated open world, there's like NPCs and there's, things to do in the world, and there's, variety, and it's just beautiful and it's nice to look at, and there's, things, whereas you get open world, like some stuff in Fallout, for example, and it's just like kind of like dead open space, and there's really not much there, and stuff like that. Not trying to call out Fallout, but that's one of the ones that I can think of.
Wasn't that one of the big complaints after The Witcher came out, was when Fallout came out, like everybody kept comparing it to how dense The Witcher's world was?
Yeah, The Witcher's world was like a kind of like almost the perfect example of a way to do an open world game proper, per se.
Well, yeah, but see, and then you have games like Xenoblade Chronicles X, where yes, it's this massive open world, but it's a massive amount of not a lot.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's like the massive world, but not a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the thing that always kind of, I mean, and then we always have to go back to the massive conspiracy or controversy that was horse armor with DLC. That was like the worst thing ever. Remember that?
If by worst you mean the absolute best.
Corey probably remembers this because I know Corey's been a long time Nintendo fan. Remember when Nintendo had the Capcom exclusives for GameCube?
The Capcom 5, yeah. And they never released the one with like the that last one they never released. I forget what was so cool.
Are you trying to say
that
Capcom 5 was the original horse armor?
No. Remember the big controversy that came from
Nintendo
Resident Evil 4? Remember Resident Evil 4?
Resident Evil 4 was like the first one.
They ported it to PS2, and then they got all the extra costumes and all the extra content that you weren't able to get in the GameCube version, even though it came to GameCube
it was like
first.
The definitive edition. And a lot of people that own GameCubes were really mad because like my Resident Evil 4 box still says only for Nintendo GameCube.
Yep.
And then I also have the Resident Evil 4 PlayStation 2 chainsaw controller with the game inside the box.
I was just talking about that the other day. That's funny.
Yeah, and I'm like I mean it's not a huge deal now, but like at the time, like a bunch of Nintendo fans
there was no internet to really like download patches or anything like that.
Right, and the fact that Nintendo can't update patches until like 2012, but that's besides the point. People were so mad because Nintendo was finally getting proper third-party support and proper third-party exclusive, and it felt like we had stolen PlayStation's thunder because we had gotten the Resident Evil 1 remake, Resident Evil 0 was in development, and we had Resident Evil 4. And Resident Evil was a PlayStation exclusive until that remake, and everybody was so excited that we were like, oh, PlayStation's dominating, but Nintendo finally stole something from PlayStation. And then they turned around and like did that, and that made a lot of people mad. That made a lot of my friends mad who had GameCubes, and it was, I mean, honestly, at that time, it's stupid, and people fanboy out all the time. And I've done it before too. It's not like I'm blaming everybody else, but like at the time, I was kind of mad, even though I wasn't really into Resident Evil. Like I was mad that Nintendo had been starting to struggle with third-party support, and I mean even N64. But I was also kind of young and didn't really understand how the console market worked at the time. But like GameCube was really the first time I started noticing that Nintendo wasn't getting the same games as everybody else, and we finally had one. And Capcom just like,
well, they didn't do it right away, wasn't it? Like a year?
No, it was like a year later.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's understandable. I mean, that's like Rise of the Tomb Raider. They're like, oh, it's exclusive to Xbox. I'm like, that's fine. I'll just wait till it releases on the PS4 with all the DLC.
Yeah, but that whole messaging was a big debacle too, because they were like, oh, it's only coming to Xbox. And then the disclaimer came up, holiday 2015.
Timed exclusive.
Yeah,
like,
they had to
which one is it?
The way they presented that on stage was totally making it seem
No. I agree with you, Ray.
No, we had that discussion, I think, last year too.
We did. And
it was,
I'm like, this is ridiculous. Yeah, so.
But yeah, so DLC, I mean, do you guys think DLC is a good thing? Is it a bad thing?
DLC depends. Like I agree with Matt. Like Borderlands 2 was amazing. Like if DLC is done like that, it's awesome. But like if it's done like like a lot of people like to rag on EA and DICE for the Battlefield DLC.
Yeah, the Battlefield Premium.
I thought the premium package for Battlefield 3 was pretty dang good. I thought they did a good job with that. Battlefield 4 was just a mess, and they cleaned it up. It plays a lot better than what it did. But when I look at Battlefield 1, I knew, like, for me, it was a worthy purchase to go in and get the map packs. And I don't need, like, story DLC, give me a new mode. Like, I feel like sometimes if it's just map packs, it just depends on if you like the game or not. Like, I wouldn't, like, Call of Duty, I'm not going to sit there and buy the season pass and get, like, the map packs because I'm like, I don't play a lot of Call of Duty. You know what I mean? So it all just depends on what you like to play. But I don't know.
Like I say, play what you love what you play, no matter what you do, enjoy it. Don't judge. Have fun while doing it.
I mean, if it's a lot of it is also going to depend on whether or not the DLC serves the game very well. Now, most first-person shooters, most of the big guys, they release map packs, and for a long time you had to pay for all that. I don't think that does much for a first-person shooter. It's like, okay, all of a sudden we have a new little playground to play in that'll basically be a variation on a formula.
Yeah. Shout out to Titanfall 2, though.
Free. Yeah, they did it all for free. Say that, right?
Yeah,
good for them.
It's all free. It's all free.
I mean, that's the way to do that, because one thing I hated even when I did play Call of Duty semi-regularly is just whenever new map packs came out, you couldn't play the game if you didn't have it.
Never get in a match. Yeah,
you couldn't get in a match. So I'm like no, I'm done with this. But like if you look at Dark Souls 1, 2, now 3, and Bloodborne, they've got an extensive story, DLC. Now, the most extensive is probably either Bloodborne or the original Dark Souls, where you had like an entire 3 or 4 boss world to go into outside of the main game. And then Dark Souls 2, you had several 1-2 boss encounters. And in 3, I think you have 2, I think it's going to be 2-3 boss encounters, which on paper that doesn't sound like a lot until you actually try and play it. Now, people that have been playing the games since they launched, they'll go in and probably devour that super quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if someone new is saying, "Hey, I'm gonna finally try this," they'll have to get to the point in the game where they can access it, which will take some time, and then you have to sort of relearn how to play the game, because it's not just reskinning enemies. From Software throws a lot into their DLC. I mean, Moose saw it with Bloodborne, where you go into from the Hunter's Dream, you end up going to the Hunter's Nightmare, and there's a completely new set of mechanics you have to worry about. And it doesn't change how you'd played the base game, but they vary up the formula enough that you're just like, oh man, these enemies aren't playing around. Then you get to the fishing hamlet where you have these giant sharks with harpoons, and they're really annoying. But
yes, they are.
They're challenging to the point where they want you to beat them rather than just being unfair. Borderlands, as Moose and I have said earlier, that's just some of the dumbest fun in the best possible way. BioShock 2 had Minerva's Den, which is one of the better DLCs around. Red Dead had Undead Nightmare.
Oh man, Undead Nightmare.
It doesn't. Very, very little gets better than that. I thought Infamous Second Son's First Light standalone was better than Second Son.
I think what it also boils down to is like who you trust. Like
yeah, that's true.
Like I would buy Red Dead Redemption 2 plus the season pass if they offered it right away. With Borderlands 3, when they announced Borderlands 3 and they allow pre-orders, I'll probably pre-order that and get the season pass with it.
Yeah.
Like,
now, go ahead, guys. Sorry.
No, it's all right. Go ahead.
So what I was going to say is one last caveat that I had to this, and we kind of touched on it. How do you guys feel about the like the Game of the Year or the definitive editions that like pack in the game, let's say 6 months to a year later, with all the DLC for a lower cost of entry than the original game and season pass? Or
sometimes it's not a lower cost. Sometimes it's a straight $60. Like if you look at some games, like you look at the Handsome Collection, which obviously it has 2 games and whatnot, so it is technically lower. But you look at some games and they'll be like, well, we're going to throw in all the DLC, and the game's still $60. You know what I mean? So you are saving money. It's less for the overall cost. It's less for the overall cost, but it's the same as far as like a regular normal price game goes. But I love them because it's like hey, I want to play that game. Like, I wanted to play Rise of the Tomb Raider, but I'm like, I'll never get to it, so I'll just wait for the Game of the Year edition.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and the thing is, like, you're paying that initial $60 to be a part of the conversation, and
that's the other thing too,
and be a part of everything. And then you buy the DLC as it comes out, so you can continue having that conversation. Whereas, you know, there's people out there, like, I've started doing this now, waiting like 3-4 months for a game that, you know, I kind of want to play, but, you know, not interested in right away, and it'll be $30, or I can wait 6 months to a year, and if any DLCs come with it, you know, okay, I'll give it a try, and I'll pay the $60 for the DLC. Like, it's all being a part of that conversation and paying a premium to be a part of that conversation. But if you can handle waiting, like, it'll come at a cheaper price, and you'll get more for your money.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I can say now. If you guys have noticed with the pricing of games, we'll see games like within 6 to 8 weeks of release, they'll be $30-$40. You know,
well, I think this fall, like this last holiday season, was the biggest one, because you saw Titanfall 2, Battlefield 1, Final Fantasy 15. All of them were like dropping in price. Like, some of them not even like a month or two after they came out, and I've never seen that.
Yeah, and it was rotating
like
retailers
months.
Too. Even digital had sales too, which
like
digital hardly ever has sales like that.
Right, exactly. And so I think the Steam sale model, is finally coming to like consoles, where you could be like, okay, like I want to play Final Fantasy 15. I would have bought it on sale had I known it was going on sale, but now I know it's going to go on sale again, and I'll just pick it up when it's like $40 or $30, you know? But you know that there's not a lot of day one buying anymore. Personally, for me, I don't know about you guys, but the only game I'm day one buying this year, as of right now, is Neo. I've pre-ordered the deluxe edition and paid it off, and then probably Red Dead Redemption 2. Like that is it for me this year.
Yeah. So far, for me, maybe Horizon Zero Dawn, and that's a big maybe, because it's only single player, and I don't really feel like, as much as I want to play it, I know within, you know, a month or a month and a half of it being released, it's going to drop in price. So,
and that's the thing. Yeah. So, like, you're more compelled to buy something that has multiplayer day one, like Titanfall 2, because you know your friends are going to play it. Whereas in like something that's a single player campaign, you know, like experience, you can say to yourself, well, I want to play it, but I don't have to be in that conversation, and I can wait to spend my money on it, you know? So, I mean, that's a smart move, right, on your part. And I'm trying to do that more this year too, and like cut down on buying games, because like I've got games from 2015 I still haven't played. Like Metal Gear Solid 5.
I haven't finished.
I still haven't beat Fallout 4. So I mean, it's just like, you know, I'm trying to cut back on buying new games and wait for sales and just play backlog. So
I've still not played The Witcher.
Is it still in your cellophane?
Yes.
Witcher for me, I bought it digitally because I was like, this will be a game that once I start playing it, because I enjoyed Witcher 1 and I enjoyed Witcher 2, I won't want to take it out of my PlayStation, so I want to play it. But it just kind of hit at that weird moment in time where I played it, and then I would pick it up and play it, and then I would be like, all right, I'm going to play something else for a little bit, give myself a break. And then I would go back to it, and then I would kind of be like, I don't remember what I was doing. And then I'll pick up back what I was doing after for, you know, half hour, 45 minutes, and then I'll put it back down. And then so it's just kind of one of those games that it grabbed me when it grabbed me, and I should have kept playing it then. But now trying to go back to it, I'm probably going to have to start over and have it try and grab me all over again.
I just think the controls are hot garbage. So
yeah, the controls are hot garbage.
I can't get into it. Bloodborne has ruined me as far as the controls for that game go.
They are so tanky, broken, hot trash garbage.
Anyways, I mean, it is a beautiful game, and it's dense from what I played. Like, it was fun, like story wise and whatnot, but I have a hard time getting past the controls.
Yeah,
that was a topic.
This was a great topic. I love the answer. Corey only talked about Destiny, and then he was quiet the whole time.
Well,
and then I brought Nintendo up, and then he's just like, yeah, and then he's like quiet again.
Yeah, it's
But
all good.
I wonder
did you play the Fates DLC, Corey?
what Revelations?
Yeah.
I just started it actually after that Fire Emblem Direct. Like I bought it when it came out, and then I started playing something else, and I'm actually making my way through it right now. I'm right at the point where you choose which path you want to go down.
Okay,
And,
yeah. So we have to talk about that later at another time because I just started. I bought it too also at launch, but I kind of put it to the side for other stuff. So I just started playing it too. So yeah, we're at a good spot to talk about it sometime then.
Yeah. I'm actually like trying to make my way through that before the new one comes out in May. And which I was kind of surprised that they announced a new Fire Emblem for 3DS too, actually, if you include Warriors. But I'm excited to play more Fire Emblem, and that phone game looks cool. And but that like Fire Emblem and Zelda are kind of it for me right now. I gotta get through those 2 games before Switch comes out, because Breath of the Wild is like that's gonna be my game that for like 3 months. Especially with all that info that came out on the Amazon UK leaked the strategy guide posting, and there's like 900 Quark puzzles and like 120 mini dungeons and
Crazy collectibles too. I saw that post. I was like, well, good for people that are looking forward to that game. There's a lot of content. So
yeah, it's actually like I'm still worried that open world is going to be like we've been discussing. That open world is going to be kind of empty, and only certain spots of that world are going to be full of like a village or people or something. Because I mean, let's face it, this game was developed for underpowered hardware, and it's still going to be on underpowered hardware on Switch. So I know it's not going to be like a Witcher style open world, but I'm still excited to play it.
I think
and it's a pretty looking game. So
as far as like open world games go, I feel like games that take more than 5 years to develop, like Grand Theft Auto 5 and Skyrim, do the best job at it. Like a lot of games that are like year over year open world, like Assassin's Creed and some of the other ones, just don't do a really good job of populating the world that you're occupying. Because I feel like when I play Grand Theft Auto 5, like I don't feel that game's empty at all. Like, I mean, granted, you can't go into like every building you want to go into, but still, there's a lot going on in a lot of the areas. So,
yeah, and I feel like Assassin's Creed, even though there's like a lot of people roaming around the cities and stuff, they're on like a set path, and it doesn't feel like they're people interacting with the world. They're just walking, and they're just...
Syndicate actually changed that quite a bit. The AI got a lot smarter with Syndicate. Unity was really, really, really timing AI.
I only played like the first hour of Syndicate, and I was like, I can't do any more Assassin's Creed.
Oh man, Syndicate was amazing. You should really... you could find it probably really cheap too now.
Well, I still have it. I have it. I just...
Go back and play it.
Listen to the fanboy, Corey.
No, actually, no. Matt, you sat on our show, and I ripped Assassin's Creed a new one.
So you did.
I'm sitting here wondering why.
But you still bought it.
Is so pixelated and fuzzy, and it's because my Xbox One is downloading like 5 games right now.
Yeah,
there are 5 games to download on Xbox One.
Oh. Dang it!
It's like no Xbox, no. Bad
well,
Xbox.
I downloaded Sunset Overdrive because I want to play that, and
that's one game.
I'm downloading Mass Effect 1, and then I'm downloading the Batman Telltale game, The Wolf Among Us, because me and Sana are going to try to bust through these story type games, because those are games that she likes to play. And what was the other one I was downloading? I don't remember. Oh, I need to finish Doom, so I'm downloading Doom.
The question is, why did you get rid of Doom in the first place?
There's not like there's a lot of games that you have to move onto your hard drive.
Doom is amazing.
I got an Xbox One S, and so I had to re-download everything. And the first 2 games I downloaded were Gears of War 4 and Infinite Warfare.
Oh, Infinite Warfare.
I actually kind of miss my Xbox a little bit, just a little.
I'm like, dude, I was like this close to being like I should have just put that money away for Switch and traded in my Xbox because I can play Gears of War 4 on this PC and I can play Doom on this PC.
Play it on the third best place to play Xbox games.
You should have did it. You should have.
So I'm like, because that's like the thing that I had a discussion with. Why do people need to own an Xbox now when you can just play the Xbox games on?
Not all of them, but pretty much like most.
Well,
of them,
like the big ones,
big ones, yeah.
Like, I mean, you're not going to ever be able to play Halo 5, but you'll be able to play Halo 6.
Corey, play anywhere Xbox stuff.
No. It's always in my mind, like, why do I still have an Xbox? But then I like
Gears
controller
on my PC. I do a consoleception because I'm playing Gears of War 4 that's for the Xbox on my PC with the DualShock 4. How about them apples? I had to sell my Elite controller, and I don't have an Xbox One controller, so.
I have a feeling if Phil Spencer were to walk in, he'd just be like, "This is not holy."
Blasphemy.
He just walks in, and all his mind shows him is that it's like those creatures in Alien 3 that are going, "Kill me." Who has a topic?
I got a topic.
All right, Moose got a topic.
I got a topic that's got like a 2-part question. So I was playing. Here's my lead, and I was playing Skyrim, and once it released and I started playing it again, a lot of the people in Fathers of the Grind were playing it, and they're like, the controls are trash. Like, they don't like it. Trash, garbage, trash. Mm-hmm. But as I was doing I was helping, I picked one faction, and you have to attack the other faction in the Civil War in the game. And so instead of using my bow and arrow like I normally do, I went melee. And that's the controls that they're talking is trash. And I feel like playing it, I don't feel the controls are trash. I feel, and here's my question, and do you feel the same? I feel that lock-on targeting has made us lazy as gamers.
Yep.
And that's the first part of the question. And then my second part of the question is, I'll continue after this on why I feel it makes us lazy. But what are your favorite controls? What game has your favorite controls? So I feel lock-on has made us lazy because when you play Skyrim and you're engaged with a melee person, like I think Bloodborne has really helped me develop like and understand the controls for Skyrim, because I would just usually just go in and slash and hack and slash. You wait for the tell that tells you that they're playing it and they're not going to move so that you do a heavy attack. Or, if they're like moving around trying to use their arrow on you or use a shield or something, you don't use a power attack because you're going to whiff with it. And I feel like with no auto target, you really have to like do a good job of aiming like where that heavy attack is going to land. And I just feel it's more engaging, and it's a lot tougher to master. But once you master those controls, I feel like it's a lot better than. And nothing against Bloodborne, I love Bloodborne, but half the time I like to not be locked on my target, just so that I can move around a little bit faster and have a little more interaction with my game. But I just wanted to get you all's thoughts on this.
I mean, Bloodborne is the Soul series in general is a really interesting case. Also, I mean, you could also bring in games like Rocket League to this too, where you do the ball cam or not ball cam. Mm-hmm. But there in the Soul series, there's actually pros and cons to both. And like a lot of the time, if I'm playing Bloodborne by myself, I'm only locking on if it's a one-on-one fight. Mm-hmm. Like there's a lot of the time I will, if I have a group attacking me, I deliberately will not lock on and just use a wide swinging attack, which seems like it's probably cheap, but at the same time I can at least watch more angles around me. That way I'm not surprised. Mm-hmm.
Guy coming out of a closet to hit you with a hatchet.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's in Yarnum. That's Tuesday.
Yeah, that's right.
That is very true.
That's right. That's true.
I but in a game like Rocket League and and I haven't played a Elder Scrolls game since Oblivion, so I don't really remember it all that well. But in a game like Rocket League, I have to have ball cam on, otherwise I start getting motion sick. And that's probably why I am not as good at that game as I probably could be. But is what it is. I'm not gonna start vomiting all over my apartment just so I can be better at a video game. I mean, I like being good at video games. I'm also lazy. Cleaning up vomit takes work.
It's true.
It does. Scrubbing elbow grease.
Yeah, it's annoying. But I think lock-on controls, they have made us lazy. But I mean, and as I just stated with like the Souls games, it seems lazy until you find out that it's just sort of, that's just one way to do it.
Well, I think they've done it right.
True,
because I think if you asked the director of Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne if he thought lock-on controls made gamers lazy, he would probably say that it does, and that's why he does what he does with their control scheme.
Yeah,
like I agree with you. I only use lock-on when it's like a one-on-one fight, or if it's a bigger guy than I am and I've got to dodge around him quickly. Like, other than that, I'm not locked on at all, and I'll still be able to aim with the camera, but I'm not just locked onto that control hitting onto that enemy hitting the attack button. Aim, you know what I mean? Like, mindlessly. So
yeah. Corey, Ray, any thoughts?
So one of my favorite control schemes in games that I've played is Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's
oh man, that was a good one.
That is a good one.
I'm piggybacking on Ray. I'm with Ray on this one. Kingdoms of Amalur for the win.
Yeah, no, I love that game, and I mean, mind you, half the story was mindless drivel. I know R.A. Salvatore, and I love his works, but half the stuff in that game you could kind of, just like try and get through as quick as you can with the dialogue stuff. But
I mean, let's be fair. 80% of video games is mindless drivel.
That is true.
True.
Okay,
but yeah, that's one of my favorite when you're looking at more of what Moose is talking about when you're looking at like melee combat, comparing it to like Skyrim and stuff like that. And mind you, if you're looking at Skyrim, Skyrim is, right now a 5.5, or 5 and 3 months year old game right now. So, I mean, you're looking at it, that kind of thing, it's using kind of antiquated, control schemes that were meant for a different controller. Mind you, the Xbox 360 and PS3 had actual analog sticks, where our PS4 and the Xbox One buttons, they're not, even though we still call them analog sticks, they're not analog anymore. And the buttons aren't analog anymore either. They're all digital. So there is no pressure-sensitive presses or anything like that.
That's true.
With that kind of stuff. So when you're looking at control schemes from games that were meant for a previous time, you can't really, compare them to games of today, which is usually what you see in posts like that when, and that's why I kind of say most of the time when people get mad, I'm like, well, old game is old. You can't really get mad at, it's remastered or whatever, revamped, but you can't really get mad at an old game because it is an old game, and that's like, right. You said you played Skyrim first and you try to go back and go play Oblivion.
It just doesn't work.
That just You're just like, no.
It doesn't.
No, you're just like, no, and that kind of thing. So yeah, Kingdoms of Amalur in that kind of instance, for that kind of comparison, would be my go-to. Definitely, like off the top of my head, like as soon as you were talking about Skyrim and what control scheme, that was immediately what popped in my head.
Yeah, control schemes are very hard to, like, once you find one you like, it's very hard to find like, for example, The Last Guardian, the jump button is triangle. And we've been using X for jump for like 15 years.
Really? Triangle is jump?
It's trash.
Yeah.
It's trash.
And when you go through that game, and you go to hit X to jump and you fall off a ledge 50 feet to your death.
Like,
because
save
you press
me,
X.
Trinko, save me!
Like, control schemes, I feel like there should just be a standard for everything. Like, X is jump. If you have a gun, left trigger is aim down sights, right trigger is shoot. Or, unless you're playing Bloodborne, because they have their own really awesome melee control scheme that works really well for those games. But
and guns don't do anything.
Yeah, let's take Call of Duty.
When you're looking at a first-person shooter, I feel like everything should be like Call of Duty or Titanfall, where like the basics of the first-person shooter control scheme have been locked down since Halo 1. And then there's been some modifications like sprinting and adding melee to the thumbstick and stuff like that, ducking or whatever with the other thumbstick. Like, there's just certain control schemes that work for certain genres. And in an action-adventure game, you do not need to be jumping with triangle, which really worries me about Zelda, because everything I've heard about it is that, yes, they added a jump button, but it's Y, which is the
why?
So first of all, Nintendo's controllers are super effed up anyway, because B is where A should be, and A is where B should be, and then X and Y are flip-flopped from the Xbox controllers.
Well,
so like
technically, Nintendo did it first, and Xbox did it to be different because they didn't want to.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter. You know how long we've not been playing regular games on Nintendo, to the point where like we've gotten used to the Xbox version, and like,
well, that's the thing. Like, you got used to the Xbox One controller, and now
but Nintendo went and made a TV remote for their controller for 6 years, and that changed everything. And then
it was more than dude. It was more than 6 years.
I feel like we need to get Corey on a couch. We just need to let him go.
I need to ask him one question. How you feel about that Switch, buddy? How you feel about that Switch?
No,
as long as I can map the jump button to B in Zelda, I'll be all right.
Well, that's what Skyrim does.
Dude, there's a snowball.
There's no way.
You know this.
And then Nintendo's
That's
gonna be
what-
like, no
You
remap.
have a caveat to add to your whole thing, right? You said all first-person shooters should be the same. If you played on PS3, they were not the same. You had to use the
because
shoulder
R1 and
buttons.
R1.
Yes, on any shooter game on the PS3, you had to use the freaking shoulder buttons. You couldn't
Which
use
is why
L2 and
everybody
R2.
played first-person shooters on 360.
That's racist.
No.
That's consolist.
That's
elite.
console racist.
It's Xbox Elite.
Well, that's what, like, talking about triangle being the jump button. That's how Skyrim works.
Yeah.
X is the interact button, and triangle's jump. And you can remap that. That's the other thing, like controls that you can remap. That should be default in every single game that's ever released. I don't want that button to be what that is. I use this more than that, so let me switch it. You know what I mean? So that's something else I think needs to be worked in.
You know what I used to really hate is when you used to play between different consoles and you would have QuickTime events. You're like, which one's X? Damn it! Which one's X?
Yeah.
That was the worst. Because on Nintendo,
QuickTime events just suck.
On Nintendo,
Period.
it's one. On PlayStation, it's another, and on Xbox, it's another. You're like, I don't know which one's X anymore. It makes my heart
So
hurt.
Corey, what game had your favorite controls?
Destiny.
No, I had some issues with Destiny's controls at first, actually.
The issues that you love them too much.
Dang.
Go
Corey
post
cry.
an Instagram picture of your 10-second vinyl.
Which one?
Corey's gonna try.
It's 15, and don't be jealous.
Control schemes. I don't know if I can like think of one off the top of my head. I just know X should always be jump, and like if you're playing an action game, I'm trying to think because like now I got all my controllers mixed up because now we're having this conversation about controllers.
You're falling into Ray's trap.
If we're looking at a PlayStation,
Save us, Connery.
You've revealed my trap card.
I've got my own control scheme. If we're looking at the DualShock 4, X should always be jump. Square and triangle should always be some sort of attack.
Or
And I feel
action
like-
button.
Yeah, and I feel like circle should either be dodge or something like that.
Run.
And
dodge or run.
And then L2 and R2 should be like your firing buttons if you have a ranged weapon. Like, okay, Tomb Raider does a very good job of having a great control scheme. And Uncharted, even though the controls are wonky in Uncharted, the control setup is very nice in Uncharted.
The button setup.
Yes. And so those games have great control schemes. Call of Duty has a great first-person shooter control scheme. Gears of War has a great control scheme. So there's games out there that do it right. What's wrong, Ray?
I feel the Division has a really good control scheme.
I do like the Division's control scheme. I kind of wish Gears of War would take parts from the Division's control scheme, like making.
That's why I was shaking my head, because
making sprint and go into cover different buttons would be great.
Mm-hmm. That's why I was shaking my head when you said Gears has a good control scheme. Not anymore. It used to be good.
Ray's like, it's trash, garbage.
It is TNT.
I don't know what my favorite control scheme ever would be, but I think it's clear in my long and storied history of playing these games on video. I think there have been certain games that really sort of paved the way to sort of exemplify how they should be. Like on console, Halo was really the one that sort of nailed it on console.
Nailed it.
Yes, and and you could probably say that maybe. I mean, I've never played it, but I think that Half-Life probably solidified everything that Quake started on PC. But I was going somewhere, but I lost it. I apologize.
No, you don't.
Matthew, kill everybody.
I do actually.
Well, if you.
But see, no, I'm back.
I'm back.
It's always
like that.
It only works if it serves the game, and if the game is. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say designed well or programmed well, because I don't know how much of that goes into it, because I don't know how to make games. If everything is done to the point where it works, and it's fun, you've done something right. I mean, my favorite comparison is Assassin's Creed to like the Infamous games, because they're basically the same control scheme except for one part. In Assassin's Creed, the run button is basically the Spider-Man button, because you could be running along down this street, and then all of a sudden your thumb slips off the left stick and you make a hard right turn into the wall, and next thing you know, you're running up lampposts and getting killed by whoever was chasing you. Because now, granted, if you're not easily frustrated, that's kind of a funny thing. But Infamous did the right thing, where they made the grab button and the run button different, so you could get away without ending up caught with your pants down climbing a lamppost.
Yeah, wasn't it Ocarina of Time that introduced the lock-on to targets?
I believe so.
Wasn't that the first game?
It was one of the first games.
I think it was the first game that did it.
I don't want to say it's the first, because I'm sure there was probably some random PC game out there that did it, but it was probably one of the first console games.
Console games. Okay. I would say console then. Yeah. Okay.
We don't want to make the PC master race all mad and have them go blow up Corey's website, go blow up DNA with DDoS attacks and stuff.
No, stop it.
No, it'll just be a gif of Lee running around with his shirt off.
That would be amazing.
Don't blow up my website.
It's like, Corey, you are amazing at turning me on. And then all of a sudden, if you get the reference,
mouse
you get the
now,
reference.
Corey.
Do you get the reference, Matt? I know you probably got the reference.
Oh yeah, I got it. Yeah, it's The Simpsons. Come on.
I make those references, and half the people don't get it because they either didn't watch The Simpsons or they only watch Family Guy. So it's
but you're also old.
Yeah, I am old. I'm not that old.
You know, 3 of us on this show are old. Corey, it's all your fault.
Is Corey the baby on the show?
Corey's the baby. He's 20. You're 29, aren't you?
I'm 30.
Lies.
I'm 30.
Show me your birth certificate.
He's like, oh, we got.
I'm gonna become the Donald Trump of this show. I'm just gonna be. I want to see the birth certificate, Dierig.
You're fired. You're fired.
That took a dark turn.
I'm gonna build a wall around my podcast.
It's gonna be huge.
It's gonna be huge.
And
You're fired.
Phoenix Overdrive's gonna pay for it.
At least 3 times this size.
We're gonna block out all of the moose.
You're fired.
That's fine.
You're fired.
Good times.
Oh, this was go times. I miss being on the show, guys. I miss being on the show with you guys. It's always fun.
Okay, so we've been going for about an hour and a half by my calculation.
Just about, yeah.
Should we do 20 questions?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do 20 questions. I got the game this week.
Oh boy.
We already know when this is going to be a train wreck.
Well, see, you guys have a severe advantage because Moose and I are like here game wise, so he'll figure it out probably.
Hell dive.
Yeah, like I did the last time.
Fuck off, Corey.
Dark Souls 2.
Nope.
Demon Souls.
Nope.
Could you stop burning our chances?
The game hasn't started yet.
Kingsfield.
Parappa the Rapper.
Okay, you can hang
Rock
right
Band
up.
2 on PS2.
No, it was Rock
Vita.
Band. I don't do sequels. I'm not doing that shit you pulled on me last week.
Rock Band Vita.
What was that Rock Band from? Yes, or whatever.
To quote Kyle Waite, get out of your podcast.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm fired.
That's okay. So
I'll leave
do I
now.
need to explain the rules? You guys all know what's going on. Yes or no questions. If you get through 20 questions, you can only guess.
Okay. Well, was this game developed during the HD era? Meaning Wii 360, PS3.
Wii's not HD.
No, the HD, but the Wii is in the HD era.
It is
Yeah,
part
I
of the
know, I'm
HD
just-
era, even though, semantics, Boost, semantics.
I actually have to find out. Hang on. one second.
He's like, wait, I don't know this for sure.
It's HDer than GameCube. No? Okay. Fired. Look at this guy. Doesn't even know what the game he picked.
I know. He was
Yeah.
horrible last time about it, too.
I forgot the release date. I forgot the release date.
game I
Give me a
picked.
break.
I forgot the game. I don't know.
What was the release date?
I've never done that shit. You shut up.
I accidentally picked a vinyl record from the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
I love it. I love it.
Yes, it was developed in the HD era. And Corey, you can fuck off.
Nobody else
Wait, did you
played
say
Project
yes? I
10.
was too busy laughing at my own joke.
Okay, so that's question 1.
Okay, Moose.
Was that a
I
yes?
just
or
said
no?
yes, and then I told you
Okay,
to
I
fuck
couldn't-
off for that
just-
Mighty Mighty Boss.
I just said
shit.
I just said I couldn't hear you because I was laughing at my own joke.
It's because it was Nirvana Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Shut up! I hate that album.
Yeah, I know you do. That's why I said it.
Oh man.
So,
But if he had to look it up, that means it could still be a late PS2 game or Xbox game. Doesn't necessarily mean it was a 360 or
Yeah,
PS2.
thanks, Corey, for not narrowing it down.
You know what?
He
I'm gonna
said- you
slap
said-
you, Ray.
you said HD, and
Come to New
PS2
York,
and Xbox
Corey.
are not HD.
I
So-
asked if it was developed during the HD era. I didn't ask if it was an HD game.
Mm.
So you done fucked up by not.
Exactly. exactly. That's what I said. Thanks, Corey.
Corey operates under this. He's like, I could just give Matt 5 questions because I'm going to get his game. And how many times have you lost, Corey?
I've lost 3 times.
4?
I'm not afraid to say it.
4?
4
Are you
times?
sure it's 4?
I thought it was 3. Check the tapes.
Okay, it's probably 3. You only got me once.
We gotta go send Ed back and go watch the tapes.
I know. Oh man, I served you with a taste of your own medicine on that one.
Yeah, you did.
It felt real good.
It
felt real good.
I got a question.
Okay. Well, you're second.
Is it an indie game?
Yes.
Okay.
Do we want to narrow it down to generation?
Probably should do that.
Yeah, we do want to narrow it down to generation.
And you got an initial generation it was released though, because if it's a game like Journey, technically it came out this generation, but it also came out last generation.
Yeah. Or it could be something like Bastion or
what if we asked does it have an initial release window? Because then you know what I mean. Because if it's like no, then we know. Well, I don't know.
What we would want to do is we would want to initial narrow down the. I would want to say original release. So I mean, I want to say, because you said was it an HD era, so we want to narrow down whether if it was.
Was it developed in the HD era?
Yeah. Was it developed prior to the current generation, which would be Wii U, Xbox One, and PS4?
Okay, so when did this generation? Was it 2012 this one started?
2012 is when this one started.
Yes, it was developed prior to this generation.
Okay. All right, Corey, it's on you because that was my question.
Okay.
I want to say it's some random indie game like Bastion or like freaking Geometry Wars.
Hyperlink. Is this? So we did say it was an indie game, right? So
Yes.
Is this indie game exclusive? Is this a platform exclusive? Like, is it only on one platform or one family of platforms?
There you go.
Clarify your question.
Okay. Does this game only appear on PlayStation platforms?
No.
Okay.
I think the way you should have worded that was during its initial release because I'm thinking it probably came to PlayStation or something later or something.
I know. I thought about that as soon as I asked it, but I thought.
All right, Moose.
Okay.
What about asking about was it released last gen? What do you think?
Well, he already confirmed it was released before 2012, so it is a Wii, Xbox 360, or PS3 game.
Do we want to ask what kind of game it is? Do we want to start going down that path?
Genre?
Yeah, do we want to try and go genre?
We always fall in that genre trap, though, because Matt's never exactly sure. The last time I was on the show, we fell in that genre trap. That's the only reason why I'm kind of hesitant to want to go genre.
Okay, so it's last gen. Xbox 360, and it's not exclusive. I want to ask if it's a game that lacks color.
You're thinking of like Limbo or something?
Yeah.
To that effect.
Thinking of Limbo.
PB Winter Bottoms Balloon Umbrella Floater game, whatever that game was.
I don't want to know what you read in your private time, Corey.
No, it was a game about cloning, and you had to.
I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing with your winter bottom. I don't want to know. This is a family shit. No, it's not a family shit.
You're jealous of my winter bottom. That's all.
This is true. I seen it. It's nice.
What about if it was part of the well, no, because Sony had releases too. I was going to say part of the Summer of Arcade.
See, because I was thinking that, but I'm thinking it could be like knowing Matt, it's probably something like he likes. So it could be something like freaking Splunky, or like I'm thinking maybe something along the lines of maybe like Terraria. Or
I've already used Terraria. I won't do it
you already
again.
used. Okay, so that Terraria.
I'm thinking it might be Super Meat Boy.
When was Super Meat Boy released?
That was
it was initially released on the 360.
10 or 11. Yeah.
What about?
2010 or
See, the
11.
thing is knowing Matt's so well versed in indie games. It could be a number of different indie games. That's the only problem. Is I can't like. Last time when we guessed, it was the same. Yep, it was this game. we were on it, but this time there's too many to guess.
Is it a 2D side-scrolling?
No
game.
So it's not 2D side-scrolling.
Shoot. Oh, what if it's Rocket League or something? We could narrow it down by
Rocket League was released 2014? 2015?
2015.
Yeah.
But
they had a game before that.
Corey asked if it was developed in the HD area, not released in the HD.
Oh, stupid. Okay, so we have to just narrow that down. Was it released in the? I mean, for all we know, it could be freaking the precursor to Rocket League. It could be Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket Power Battle.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, what a bad name. Too long. Nobody bought it because that name was too long. After you get through that first two syllables, it's like, no, I'm done.
Gideon bought it.
I don't even care what it is.
I used to play it.
Well, good for you.
That's why I knew Rocket League was going to be fun. That's why I downloaded it right away. I'm like, yes.
I still haven't played Rocket League in like over a year.
Get fucked up, son.
Yeah. Dude, the most fun I ever had was recently we played Rocket League on a Friday night with John Martin.
That's always a fun party.
Oh man, it was Moose dipped out early though. Moose didn't get to the super fun.
No.
Moose was like, okay, I'm gone.
I'm done.
What?
I'm out.
Who said that? That was fun.
Oh man. Okay, so let's recap. What do we know about this game? It's an indie game developed in the HD era. That's not
released. So we have to clarify when it was released.
Developed. Right. Okay, so it was developed during the HD era.
It's not a 2D side scroller.
It's not a 2D side scroller or a PlayStation exclusive.
What? How about?
Wow, we really narrowed it down. Whose turn is it? Is it my turn? Or is
It's your turn.
It's my turn. Can you see your character on the screen? Like, is it a third-person game?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not a side scroller.
Okay.
I'm leaning towards something.
I wanna clarify something, Matt, with you. This isn't like a real question. Would you consider a Metroidvania style game a side-scrolling 2D platformer?
The fact that it's not a side-scrolling 2D platformer does not eliminate Metroidvania.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. Because it's a 2D and it's a platform. I just wanted to make sure you.
Something just I was pulling at me, but I don't know how to.
Okay, so I'm starting to think of like Metroidvania style games like Apatheon, which I know Matt really liked, Axiom Verge,
which I've not played yet.
Guacamelee, but I think we already used Guacamelee once, didn't we? I think I had Guacamelee.
Yes, you did.
I'm thinking of something. I'm thinking of something maybe more top down.
Hyperlight Drifter-ish, Diablo-ish.
Bastion's
but
kind
yeah,
of
I wasn't able to get it. Yeah, Transistor.
I was just gonna say Transistor. Oh shit.
Moose, it's your question.
Oh
wait, wait, hang on.
it's Ray.
I got skipped.
It's Ray's, yeah.
Wait,
I technically got
I'm
skipped.
sorry.
Corey took
Yeah,
my
you,
question.
You got skipped.
Is it a
sorry.
top-down shooter?
No.
Damn it. That totally took away my thought.
I know what you were thinking, too.
You know what I was thinking.
I know what you're thinking. It's not Helldivers.
No, it wasn't Helldivers. You used Helldivers before, I thought.
No, we've not used Helldivers.
I was thinking Hotline Miami.
No. It's not Hotline Miami.
he's like, nah, son, nah.
Nah. But that gives me an idea for the next time. You know what that idea is? Not Hotline Miami.
You're gonna forget by the end of the episode. Do we want to know?
Further clarification, when you're looking at 2D games, does that include platformers?
He asked if it was a 2D side-scrolling game. I answered that question. It's a 2D. It's not a 2D side-scrolling game. He didn't say platformer. He did not say anything else. He just said 2D side-scroller.
Damn it.
Is he
gonna pull that 2.5D crap like Shantae? Because the new Shantae is like 2.5D, and you can go back into the background. But then
my thing is I'm thinking it could be something stupid like a platformer, like a 2D platformer,
or like Box Boy on 3DS.
I've never owned a 3DS, nor will I ever, so I wouldn't know.
Something stupid like Spelunky or Thomas Was Alone or something,
or 1001 Spikes or
Braid or
Dustin an Elysian Tale.
All good games.
Rogue Legacy.
Contrast. A Boy and His Blob.
Oh my gosh, there's so many games. Do we want to narrow down if the character like shoots stuff, if he has a companion, if there's exploration?
We can go with does it shoot stuff? I like that question. Because, well, more along the lines, do you use guns in the game? Do you know what I'm saying? I think that would be a good question.
Yeah, it's your turn, so you can ask that question.
Do you use guns in the game?
No.
Okay.
I mean, for all we know, it could be something dumb like Sports Friends or frickin' Nidhogg.
True.
I was just looking at Nidhogg.
Nidhogg is a 2D side scroller, so no, it's not Nidhogg.
Okay, well.
I'm gonna get you guys trained one of these days.
We could ask if there's a giant map, or if there's like use melee combat, or
if there's survival elements.
Wait,
what about?
Did you ask if there's guns in this game?
Yes.
I asked if it was a top-down shooter to try and narrow down.
Okay, we can still ask if because games like doesn't Apatheon have like projectile weapons that aren't guns, like spears and stuff?
I guess so. I haven't played it.
Matt has, but he won't. He's not.
I've platinumed it. It's real good. It's way like a lot of people gave that game some shit. That game is way better than a lot of people gave it credit.
What about the style of the game, like graphical wise? Is it photorealistic? Is it pixel? Is it pixel art? Is it is it like Virginia, which isn't that like comic book type drawing? Something like that. That could be a path we could go down.
Yeah. Whose turn is it? Is it Ray's turn?
We messed up the flow. What number are we on now?
I know.
8. Corey's 1, Moose 2, Ray 3.
Ray.
But Corey skipped Ray, so
skipped me, so it's technically on Corey. Yeah, it's on technically Corey, but whatever. It don't matter if we want to fix the turn order.
And you can see your character.
Mm-hmm.
So is it my turn then, or?
Yeah, just go for it, and then I'll take the next one. We'll write the order.
Okay. Does this have a Metroidvania style map to explore?
No.
Okay. That actually eliminates a lot.
Double eliminate Pantheon. Axiom Verge. Guacamelee. Well, you guys already did Guacamelee.
Yeah. What do we want to go with? Do we feel puzzle platform is strong enough to ask?
Platformer with puzzles would probably be better, because puzzle platformer is like, well, I don't know, really narrows it down to a specific type of game. I hate you.
Right?
Yeah, we could do that.
Puzzle platformer or platformer with puzzles?
Puzzle platformer.
Is the game a puzzle platformer, Matt?
No.
Okay, so that eliminates a lot.
I just thought of a game that it's
so
like.
my thinking now is it's
all
probably
this-
maybe a. No, because he said it doesn't use guns, so it's not a shmup.
No, but I was thinking of a
bullet
game like N++, like it's a static screen. It's not technically a side scroller. You don't shoot stuff. All you're doing is navigating a maze to open a door. But I mean, I don't know if Super Meat Boy would be considered the same type of game as N++ either.
No, because no, that scrolls, because the levels can go for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it scrolls.
Yeah, but it can also scroll up and down.
But
I don't know if he's going to throw that back.
Super
wrench
Meat
back in.
Boy is a 2D side scroller.
Yeah, I agree with him. It's a 2D side scroller, so that
Like it doesn't like if it like there are a bunch of levels in Super Meat Boy that the geography goes up and down, but it's still 2D, and I think it would only be fair to lump that in with 2D side scrollers.
Okay.
I mean I'm not. I can be a dickhead. I'm not that dickhead.
No,
He's
you
like,
are just not.
He's
this
like,
time.
I could be a dick, but I'm not that much of a dick.
What was the last question?
Is it a
puzzle platformer?
Okay. I believe that was your 10.
You could see your character.
Okay, so now I'm starting to think of either an isometric dungeon crawler-ish type game, like Diablo-ish or Torchlight or something like that, or something like Hyperlight Drifter, where it's kind of like the top-down Zelda-ish style game.
Or what about like an action adventure game?
Yeah, what about beat 'em ups and stuff like that? Like, what is one like? Have you guys used Castle Crashers before?
No.
I don't think they have.
We could ask about some of the character features and to try to narrow that down.
Yeah, do you play only one character? You know what I mean? Do you have multiple? Well,
we could ask if the characters dress in colorful uniforms, or if this is or we can narrow it down by genre. We could ask if it's a brawler or I don't even know what to call the top-down Zelda games.
What about
action
roguelikes or survival games?
Yeah, roguelike would. Yeah, we could try to narrow down genre. So we know it's not a 2D side scroller, but it could be Brawler could be a 2D side scroller too. Dang it!
not if it's in the third Not if it's in like third person. It's not side scrolling. It's like open world almost. But I can't remember. I can't think of any that would fit that.
I mean, technically, a 2D side-scrolling game is a third-person game because you can see your character on the screen.
Yes.
I meant like third-person view. I guess I should say.
Third-person perspective.
Yeah,
like over the shoulder.
Yeah, over the shoulder.
I mean, we could try to narrow it down that way too. I mean, we still haven't really narrowed down if it's a 2D or a 3D game yet, or genre, really.
We could ask. You want to ask that if it's 2D or 3D?
Yeah. I think it's your turn, Moose, isn't it? Is it?
Yeah.
I think it is. Yeah. So you want me to ask if it's 2D or which one?
You could, ask if it's 2D.
Matt, is the game 2D?
Yes.
Okay. So you could try to eliminate. Is this a roguelike?
Yes.
Okay. What indie games are roguelikes?
What about would Towerfall Ascension be considered a side scroller?
It's not a roguelike.
But we do shoot stuff. Well, true.
Let's see. What are some indie roguelites? We got Spelunky, Rogue Legacy. By the way, that new one for that semi roguelike Has Been Heroes looks kind of cool for Switch.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's the guys who did Trine. Oh man, I would totally play that game.
I know, the game looks good, and it's only $20. I don't even know what kind of roguelikes because I'm not into roguelikes. Is Fez considered a roguelike?
No, that's a puzzle game.
Okay, I didn't.
And it's a side scroller, 2D side.
That's true too. 2D roguelike.
Is FTL considered? But I don't. Did Matt play FTL?
That might be a question asked too. Has he played the game and beaten it?
Shoot.
Honestly, I'm looking at probably like Rogue Legacy or Spelunky. Those are the two that I'm leaning toward.
Yeah, those are like the only two major ones that I really know. I don't really know.
Because Don't Starve isn't 2D, is it?
No, it's like a Zelda. I would call it
top down.
Yeah.
Even though like the art is 2D, I would.
But it is 2D.
And you already said we don't use guns, so Enter the Gungeon wouldn't be one.
What about, is Let It Die a roguelike? That new Suda game?
It's not 2D.
Yeah, it is, but it's not 2D.
Oh, okay. I've never seen anything on it. I knew it was similar.
I want to say Spelunky, but you know.
All right, so how can we narrow it down to Spelunky? How many questions is that?
You guys are on your 11th. Wait, no, you guys asked your 11th. This is your 12th.
Okay, so how do we narrow it down to Spelunky? How do we, like, that character kind of looks like Indiana Jones, right?
There's multiple characters, so that's the problem.
Yep. Shoot, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can play as like from the get-go. I think 4 or 5 different characters.
No, you can play as 9 characters from the gate.
9. Okay, I apologize. 9.
You can unlock like 6.
If you could start as 9 different characters. Ray, I think it's your turn. Is it your turn or is it mine? Because I just asked, so.
No, Moose just asked, so it's Ray.
Yeah, it is my turn. I can narrow it down with one question. Do you control a spelunker?
Is that your question?
Yes. Yes.
Wait, are you asking us if we want that
I'm asking Matt. Do you control a spelunker?
That's your question. Oh, that's your question?
Yes.
No.
Okay, so it's not Spelunky then.
Okay, so it's not Spelunky. Okay. Do you control a pixelated knight?
Negative.
Oh no. I don't know any other roguelikes.
That's why I asked that question, because I was like, I can eliminate if it's Spelunky or not.
Oh gosh.
Is it a Spelunker? No? Okay, so it's not Spelunky.
Exclusive. It's not exclusive to the PlayStation.
Okay. So what are some popular roguelike indie games? Besides roguelike
you're falling right into his trap. You're thinking popular. That's the problem.
Okay. So
You gotta go
eliminate the
off.
word popular.
You've
And-
got to go off the reservation for this one.
What are some roguelike games Matt might like? that
See, but the
nobody
thing
else-
is we never totally broke down when it was released either.
That's
Because
true.
the problem is we just know that there's no guns. Like we know it's HD era, so it could be Xbox 360, PS3, or current gen too.
Oh, this hurts my head.
All I'm trying to do, Corey, is make you think about different video games than you normally play.
Oh, the problem is I've never played a roguelike in my life, so I don't know any roguelikes.
Have you played Rogue Legacy?
Nope.
Wow. Okay.
And it was free.
Oh, I own it. I don't. Just never played it.
What should be something weird?
Me? Weird? Never.
See, like I'm out because I don't know any other roguelike games besides those two.
I'm trying to think of some.
Wait, weren't you guys just playing? What about Darkest Dungeon? Isn't that like a roguelike?
It is.
It's also a 2D side scroller.
What about? Oh shoot!
I took a shot.
Is Downwell a
But you shoot.
Roguelike
You've got gun boots.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm just trying.
I know.
We're trying to eliminate.
I'm just pulling
race.
stuff out of thin air now, guys. I'm trying. Oh man, I have no idea. What about top-down 3D roguelikes?
No, because he said it's 2D already.
But he said that what do you say? Don't Starve is a 3D game, but it has 2D art.
Could ask if it's got a survival. It's got a because Don't Starve has.
What about Binding of Isaac?
Roguelike.
Oh, Binding of Isaac, yeah.
But don't you shoot things in that game?
Yeah, but you don't have a gun, do you?
That's a good point. I think it's either Don't Starve or Binding of Isaac.
Are you trying to run from your mother in this game?
Yes.
That's the description you gave of Binding of Isaac.
Yes, so it's Binding of Isaac.
Now wait a second.
There's like 40 versions of that game. How are we supposed to narrow it down?
No. There's two. There's the regular, and then there's the Aftermath. Is it
Rebirth?
What was
Rebirth?
Rebirth. That's what it was. Thank you, Ray. Thank you.
But then there's Afterbirth.
3 versions.
There's Afterbirth coming to Switch. So now there's 3 versions.
Switch.
The Afterbirth is not a Switch exclusive.
No, but it's coming. I just know that it's coming to Switch.
Already
Okay, so now we just have to narrow down: is it the initial release or is it the second release? Because it can't be the.
How many
new
questions
release
do we have left?
We have
6.
6 questions left. Okay, so is it my turn?
Sure, at this point.
Does this game have a subtitle?
No, it doesn't.
Okay,
it's just
so
the Binding of
it's
Isaac.
just Binding of Isaac. So we can
Someone
either guess.
Guess.
It's
Is it
Is the
Binding
game
of Isaac?
Binding
Yes,
of
Binding
Isaac?
of Isaac. Congratulations.
Yes, we did it.
I see. I was the one that I went back to it. I was like, wait, is it The Binding of Isaac?
Because we talked about that game for so long.
Yeah. I was like, I'm like, man, I wish I wouldn't have talked about this game so much. They're gonna get it now. And then you just see Ray's eyes get about as big as Idaho, and he's like, is it? What about Binding of Isaac?
That was a good one.
Oh man,
That's a good one.
Oh man, that was a rough one.
No, it wasn't rough. It was fun. We still got it.
I was stressing out though
though.
because I don't know anything about roguelike games. So
well, I was going to get it eventually. I seriously thought when I was going down, I was like, knowing Matt, my first thought was, because I know Matt, how much Matt loves music. So my first thought was originally I was going to ask about soundtrack. So that's why I was going to go the Hotline Miami route.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does have a sick soundtrack. Soundtrack's awesome.
Binding of Isaac has a pretty sick soundtrack.
Yeah, it does too.
Oh, what do you say we wrap this up? Go to bed.
Sounds good.
Yay, wrapping up time. Woo!
Yay.
Tired.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of NGR Radio.
Whoa, stop. Moose, where can we find you?
I'm getting there. You just shut your mouth.
Jeez.
Now I got to start over. Thank you so much for watching this episode of NGR Radio. Ray, where can we find you?
Okay, so I am at LRayNY617 on pretty much Twitter, Twitch, PSN, Xbox, even though I'm not really there except for Gears and the Nintendo Network. You can also find me as a co-host on our podcast, Nerd Overdrive, Phoenix Overdrive's official podcast. You can find us pretty much anywhere you can find podcasts, but youtube.com/Phoenix Overdrive, as well as SoundCloud, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play Music by searching for Nerd Overdrive. You can find our podcast Twitter at PHX_Overdrive, as well as at Nerd_Overdrive. Or you can email us the old school way, nerd@PhoenixOverdrive.com. We do our Extra Life efforts. You can find us at Facebook.com/Phoenix Overdrive, as well as Instagram is also PHX_Overdrive. Lee would kill me if I forgot that. You can also join our community page, Facebook.com/groups/PO Nation, where we discuss all the latest and greatest in gaming news and all things nerd. Corey's been a guest. Matt's been a regular guest with us, which we need to get you back sometime soon, Matt, because I miss you and the train wrecks that ensue following that.
He doesn't like me.
And we need to get you on too, Moose, at some point. We need to find a way to get you in. You got to talk to Becky. Becky and Lee are the ones that schedule that stuff. So,
Notice Ray didn't ask me to come back.
Oh, you need to come back too, Corey. We can get you and Matt as a duo. Get you guys to come back as Nerds Gone Rogue duo. But we do broadcast our episodes each week live via Facebook Live as well as Twitch and YouTube. So just add live to the end of the Phoenix Overdrive following the youtube.com part. But,
Nice.
We always say game over for now and always rise above, guys. Thanks for having me again, guys. I feel like I have to thank you out of courtesy, but I shouldn't thank you because of all the train wrecks I cause here.
Just why don't you just say it this way? Just be like, you know what, guys, this has been a show. You're welcome.
It's either Ray or Todd that is sitting in that chair.
Yeah.
One of these days, we're going to get them both on at the same time and see what train wreck really happens.
I would love that. I love Todd. Todd is like my bestest friend that I've never been able to podcast on his show with.
Moose, where can we find you?
I'm just on the PlayStation Network at Sven. It's SVHENN. I'm also on Twitter, same handle. I'm on Xbox, same handle, but I don't have an Xbox console right now, so that's pretty much where you can find me. Hanging out and talking about games.
And dropping the hammer on fools.
That's right.
Matt,
Yeah.
why do people want to follow you?
I have no idea.
He streams awesome.
I look at what I look at everything I do. I'm like, man, I am a walking ball of moron.
It's the vinyl posts. It's the
Is that what it
daily
is?
posts about vinyls. Yeah.
Do people actually care about? I don't know.
Well, I like it. They hit the like button, don't they?
Okay. Thank you for all who like my stuff. I hope it's genuine.
I'm one of those that like your stuff.
Yes, you do.
Because half the time it's stuff that I like.
In fact, all three of you have been really good at feeding my ego. Thank you for that. You could find me on PSN, or actually any platform that I want to be on. I am there at _rewind. If I'm not _rewind there, I'm not there. You can also find me doing a little bit more writing on the DNAnetwork.net. I've most recently written my favorite albums of 2016, as well as a post of my favorite Christmas music, because we're still less than a month away from Christmas, so I'll keep talking about it. So this is probably the last time I'll mention that. I am currently working on Run the Jewels, a review, and some albums that should have probably been on my top 20 list for 2016. And that I thought they were going to be published long before now, but I cannot nail down what I want to say, so I'm having writer's issues. But yeah, you can find me there. I'm in the groups, getting amongst it. And,
he's in the trenches taking grenades.
And if you ever need help, summon the Hammer Bros. We're here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Corey.
You can find me at Corey Hudson in HD on Twitter and Corey in HD on Instagram. You can find all of our content and shows on DNAnetwork.net and youtube.com/Digital Nerd Advocates Network. You can also find the show every Monday at 10 a.m. on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and Google Play. Matt, Ray, Moose, this was fun.
Nice. It was a blast.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next week, we love you.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Banana and out.